followed by a scripture by Ms. Christian Aldridge, which will be followed by a dramatic presentation. Let us bow together in prayer. Dear God, we thank you for today and this exciting climax to our academic cultural enrichment series. Let the experiences shared with us in this hour inspire us to seek understanding, to search out new ways of thinking, and just to enjoy the experience that others have come to impart to us. All glory, praise, and honor belong to you in Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Good morning, my Bennett sisters and guests and staff to the college. I'm Kristen Aldridge, a sophomore English major theater minor from Denver, Colorado, and I'll be reading Psalm 63, 1-3. O God, you are my God. I long for you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh yearns for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water. Yes, in the sanctuary I have seen you. I have seen you and witnessed your splendor and power. Because experiencing your loyal love is better than life itself, my lips will praise you. May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. Thank you.
Good morning. I do want to take just a few minutes to certainly welcome you to this ACES program, where we will focus on actually the experiences that two of your peers, Maisha Putman and Alexis Anderson, as well as the director of the honors program, Dr. Audrey Ward, and also me, the experiences that we had in a recent trip to Ghana. So this is our experience that we will share with you today. I do want to certainly welcome our President Dr. Esther Terry, for being here with us today, members of the senior staff, and others who may be in the audience this morning. So again, good morning. As Delta Flight 251 left Piedmont Triad International Airport, most of its passengers gripped their seats to stem the bodily jolts resulting from its frequent and abrupt stops on the runway. The plane started to ascend, and after it reached a certain altitude, the mostly middle-aged group settled down and engaged in quiet, polite conversation with each other. But no one seemed to notice the two young female African-American students sitting in the rear seat, unnecessarily burdened by a myriad of luggage, and no one bothered to ask their names or where they might be traveling. If so, they would have learned that the two young women were junior social work major Maisha Putman and sophomore biology major Alexis Anderson, two Bennett College students en route to Ghana, Africa. On that chilly day, February 28, 2013, to be precise, Putman and Anderson, accompanied by Dr. Joyce Blackwell and Dr. Audrey Ward, were beginning a mission-driven trip to the continent. Armed with a suitcase full of literature about the college, armed with a sense of purpose, and armed with a commitment to make Bennett College a household name internationally, the group planned to spend the next 10 days touring the West African country known for its rich history and valuable contributions to the world. They plan to spend the next 10 days, those 10 days, establishing faculty and student exchange opportunities with 3 Ghanaian universities. And they plan to spend those 10 days creating partnerships for grant and research opportunities between Bennett and the universities. Securing such opportunities for Bennett students and faculty would not only bring visibility to the institution beyond America's shores, but further enhance the college's globalization efforts. And if these agreements could be reached, we reasoned, with officials at the University of Ghana, the University of Cape Coast, and Kwame Nkrumah, University of Science and Technology, we believe that Bennett would benefit from the presence of students from the continent, and Bennett students would have an opportunity to study abroad for 1 semester at least at one of the institutions for approved transferable course credit. The students, Putman and Anderson, met with student leaders from each of the universities. They served on panels with students from the universities to discuss their ideas about leadership, their shared experiences about leadership. And overall, it was a wonderful adventure, one filled with amazing and profound lectures by college professors, one which included a visit to the slave castles and the place where their ancestors had their last bath before leaving the only home that they'd ever known, for one that they could never have imagined, one in which they interacted with townspeople, and one which included an awe-inspiring moment with an entrepreneur who had a third-grade education, who turned a small roadside business into a 5-star hotel and resort on the beach. Her story, her magnificent story, was one of faith, compassion, commitment, and tenacity, a story from which we could all learn a lesson. So today, this morning, we have a story, our story of our Ghanaian adventures. So please join us, sit back, take a trip back in time with us as we share this experience with you this morning. And we will begin sharing this experience with a video.
Strengthen the leadership qualities in students and to prepare them to become global leaders in today's society.
I think what really impressed me about students here is their love for learning and exploring and really knowing more about persons in other countries and in other cultures. It's almost impossible now for young people to graduate from a college or university and really truly find employment only at home.
The fact that Bennett College recognizes that being global is such an important thing in today's day and age says a lot about the pride they have in us, and they would really like to see us grow into global citizens.
The honors program here at Bennett is a very distinct program that celebrates academic excellence. Many students come to Bennett College not realizing that they have the potential to become honors program students. And I enjoy telling them over and over, don't let anyone nor anything dictate the spirit of your day. And definitely don't let anything or anyone destroy your dream.
Getting into the honors program and the Alpha Delta Honor Society, I am truly honored because I didn't have these back in high school. I know they see my drive and my passion that I do want to be an honor student, and my grades are confirming that I want to be here and I will be successful. They can see that.
Dr. Bookman, who is director of the Center for Global Studies, has worked very closely with Dr. Ward this year on global initiatives, not just to the continent of Africa, but they are already exploring Asia. Our Center for Entrepreneurial Studies, for example, has traveled to China. Our Department of Business has had students who've been involved in a China exchange, Latin America. There's a trip to Salzburg that many of our honor students will be taking. And so as we move forward, it is important that we continue to broaden or expand our study abroad opportunities?
I am the only one in my immediate family to go to college, and who would have thought that I would go to a different country? And when I found out that I was able to go to Ghana, my excitement level of the trip, I cannot explain. It is truly, truly phenomenal.
We did get to go to many historical sites. I think one in particular was the Slave River, the river whereby slaves had their last bath before coming to America. Another highlight of the trip was the W.E. Du Bois Center and House. Our students were mesmerized by where he lived, and even more mesmerized to be able to walk into his private study and to see the hundreds of books that were there.
We toured different cities. In Accra, we had a chance to make the traditional beads. In Kumasi, we had a chance to do the print and press. Going to Cape Coast, we had a chance to learn about the slave trade. We went to the El Mina, or what they call the dungeons, to learn how the slaves were brought over, and we had a chance to take different pictures of different views and different sites. I couldn't believe that I'm actually in a place where our ancestors were many years ago, and that was phenomenal. It was kind of like a change of world.
Think about what it would have been like had I had the opportunity when I was an undergraduate student to go abroad. Had I gone abroad, it would have been something that I would have had to maintain just through memory or through writing. But today, our students can maintain the connections and the networking that they had established while there.
We had such a good time interacting with students, establishing friendships that last a lifetime, because we still talk on Skype, Viber. If they ever had a chance to come over to the U.S. to study abroad, they would know who to contact.
We received their names, their emails, phone numbers, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're just always interacting and connecting every day. And I've grown close to specifically 3 of the student leaders there. One of them is a biochemistry major, and I am a biology major. So we have a lot to talk about in terms of biology. He also would like to be a doctor as well as I. And I think that's something that I really appreciated from going on this trip. It's just the lifelong friendships that we've established there.
I think it was good that the students were placed in a position whereby they had to tell others about their school, and to see how the students from Ghana were so captured by their stories, so captured by their articulation, it made us all proud.
The students in Ghana take education very serious. It's as if there's nothing else to do but go to school, go to college, get an education so you can move forward. They're always talking about, hey, I'm studying, in their conversations around us, hey, what did you learn in class today, or what are we going to do in class tomorrow? Did you do that homework? It's always something that's related to education. Here, I think sometimes we kind of slack off in terms of taking pride in our education. We usually don't take it as serious as I believe we should. Not as serious as the students in Ghana take it. And I think that's something that we all need to think about, because it's really, education is a very valuable thing.
What impressed me about the student leaders in Ghana, when they were walking out, to me they looked like soldiers, like marching. They had this regalness about them, the genuineness, and they looked so strong and so bold.
And I learned a long time ago, if you look at the research data, for African Americans in particular, we are regarded as the role models for persons of African descent in other parts of the world. And so that gives us an opportunity to talk about our experiences, Bennett's mission, why Bennett is important as a women's college, why Bennett is important as a historically black college, and why Bennett is important as an institution of higher learning in the U.S.
While we were in Ghana, we had the opportunity to meet with some of the student leaders, and I actually had a dialogue between the secretary, her name is Gloria, It's an all-females college, so you see females in every single leadership role. And I actually told her every single year, year after year, I will run for that presidential position. If I don't get it, that's okay, but that's just to show how determined I am. Show the men that, hey, we are leaders too, and we can do this as much as you guys can.
One school, the University of Cape Coast, was so intrigued by our description of our program and of our campus and our university, of our college itself. The administrator thought that their students would really benefit from studying here at Bennett College, simply because they really liked what we had to say about our college. So it was really an opportunity for us to market the good things that were happening here at Bennett College internationally.
I think the highlight of the trip for me was establishing partnerships with 3 of the universities. And I think this is critical for us at this point because it allows us to provide study abroad opportunities for our faculty and our students. And it provides research opportunities in terms of grants and all of that for our faculty. And so it wasn't difficult to sell our programs or anything like that because I think the students demonstrated the kinds of academic programs and academic excellence that we have here at Bennett College.
I thought, hey, we're doing our job. We're doing what we came here to do, to have conversation with these student leaders about leadership. But as we continue to go on, Dr. Blackwell and Dr. Ward started to say, I'm really proud of you guys. You guys are really representing Bennett well. You guys are really intelligent. The conversations that you guys initiate between these student leaders are very intellectual, are very valuable, are very critical and very important, and it's getting across good points that we need to make. And Dr. Ward specifically made a comment to me that I really took to heart and that I never expected. She said, Alexis, you're a true leader. You're a true born leader. And that to me was really, that was something valuable.
Coming back from the trip and just doing many reflections, writing many papers about our experiences. We talked to many friends about Ghana. Now I can say I'm actually ready to be more confident and to be the leader of the 21st century.
They are more excited about their own coursework. They are more excited about their future. They speak more seriously about what they learned about the importance of study. They came back more appreciative of the resources here at Bennett, and they came back with a new zeal for life itself.
My trip to Ghana did not only stretch me academically, it stretched me spiritually, socially, culturally. It stretched me in so many different ways that I did not anticipate. So I think it's something to me, it's really critical that I go abroad and learn about the different things that are there. And I would really encourage all my Bennett sisters to do the same. The experience will change your life magnificently.
Those are just some highlights of some of the experiences that certainly we had while exploring the country of Ghana. There are many more, and I'll talk about some of those later in terms of how we plan to share those. But again, certainly right here, I do want to thank Tom Lipscomb from Lipscomb Productions, who put this video together for us. He did an extraordinary job, don't you think? Our second and final way in which we will share our experiences is through a talk show that will allow you to be able to interact. So I will ask that you certainly jot down a question that you might want to ask if you have the opportunity. So at this particular time, I want to introduce you to the Abana Talk Show.
Thank you. This week's topic is focused on life-changing experiences. And I noted that in one of your letters, you emphasized some very interesting points about your first trip to Ghana. Please tell us what really happened in Ghana that helped you determine that your experience was life-changing. Let's begin with Ms. Strength.
Thank you. Good morning. My trip to Ghana was very life-changing because it impacted my life in so many different ways that I really did not anticipate. For one, it elevated my character and the way that I think. Just seeing the students, how they walked with poise, they were very articulate. They didn't stutter. They were very confident. They were very bold in their leadership, just in their culture. They just took pride in everything that was about them. That really influenced me as an individual, and also just going global. And we were able to argue with the students effectively. We were able to relate to the students. We were able to see eye to eye for many things. And even though the culture is different and the struggle there is different, and there's so many different things are different, we had the ability to actually relate to those students. That was something I didn't think I could do. But after I established that, I actually understood that the way I think was elevated, and my potential and my ability was also increased. And going there, I recognized how important it is to be global, how important it really is to be a global citizen. And I think that was something that really had a great impact on my life.
Thank you. Speaking of being global, could you tell us some more about what it means to be global in America today, and what it means to be global as an African-American woman?
Well, being global is being aware of your surrounding, not just what's going on locally, not just what's going on nationally, but what's going on in the outer world. You have to be able to have conversations with people from all across the world and be effective and be engaging. You have to know what's going on, because things that happen outside of this country affects us all each and every day. So I think that's basically what being global is. It's just being aware of the outer world and not just where you live.
Thank you. Ms. Carroll, we have not forgotten you. We would like to ask you to expound upon something that you described as a transforming experience when you spoke of the conveniences and the inconveniences that you experienced while in Ghana. Will you comment?
Thank you. Yes, I will. Being in Ghana was definitely a life-changing experience for myself, and also it's a transformation of the mindset. We had pretty much the convenience of everything like water, lights, just the simple things. When we arrived at one of the university's guest house, there was no light. There were no lights at all, so that led us to actually move into another room. So that is definitely alarming, or something that we need to think about. Just in not having any lights or water, because what we had to do while we were there, even simply as when we were brushing our teeth, we used the water from the water bottle, and just that was the difference. So we really take these things for granted over here in America. So that is my response to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to comment further?
But when we arrived at that particular university guest house, there really weren't no current there, and no electricity. I'm sorry, Jordan, we say current. It was no electricity, and a majority of us did not want to stay there, but I actually didn't have a problem with it because growing up in Jamaica, it's kind of normal for the electricity to just go out anytime, whether you pay your bills or not. You just have to always have your candles and your lamps ready because the electricity can go out at any time. But just to relate and just living in America, I've never experienced the electricity going out since I've been in America, and I've been here since 2009. So I think about those things, and just as Maisha said, we had to use the water from the water bottles to brush our teeth. It's just some of the things that we take for granted, just electricity and water, and just some other different things that actually open up our eyes. These are some of the things that we should really consider in our day-to-day lives.
One thing, Ms. Howard, that you mentioned that I thought was very interesting was that instead of seeing so many animals such as dogs, you were surrounded by goats. Could you talk about that?
Thank you. Yes, we were in Cape Coast, and we had a chance to see goats. We was actually at Brendan. It's called Brendan Beach. That is definitely different from, it's not like you're going to a zoo here, but however, just seeing the animals right outside of our guest home, so that was definitely different to see.
Thank you. Ms. Powell, you mentioned something about the preferential treatment that you noticed in the division of labor with regard to gender. Could you speak more about that?
While we were riding in Ghana, just riding by, on the street side, there were vendors, and most of the vendors out there were actually women. These women would go out there from the sun up till sundown, and they were just toiling, and they had their children with them, who were mainly females also. What I took from that was, in Ghana, if you have 6 siblings, if it's 2 females and 4 males, they're more likely to send the 4 males to school, and the females will stay at home, do just the house chores, and they'll probably just go out to go be vendors also with their mothers, because they believe in if you educate male, you can actually build a population or a society, but if you educate female, you might just be building an individual. So just seeing that, I kind of grabbed from, they're moving away from that culture, but seeing the older women out there laboring, that's what I got. These were probably some of the women who didn't have the opportunity to go to school. So that's some of the preferential laboring that I've experienced.
Ms. Howard, you commented in your letter that the entrepreneurship really touched you while you were there, seeing so many women on the storefront. Could you elaborate?
Thank you. Seeing the women, and when we go to the markets and when we were buying and selling the entrepreneurship component, we had a chance to even bargain and sell and learn the different ropes of how they would how would they get their materials. So actually, we had a chance to. You want to go ahead and do that right now? We're about to work right now as we speak, so.
We're just going to about selling things in Ghana. There we barter instead of just, like here in America where we'll go into the store and we'll actually see the prices on some things. We actually barter there. I'll be the buyer. Hello, how are you today? How much are these beads? 5 CDs. Okay. 5 CDs. No. I'll give you 2 CDs and 50 pesos. No. 5 CDs. Yeah. Why so much now? I said I'll give you 2 CDs and 50 pesos. No. Well, we have this to give you that, and for the total of 5 CDs. No, I said I'll give you 2 CDs and 50 pesos. Hey, can I just please give me 2 CDs and 50 pesos? I don't have it, though. Please. Okay. Thank you, guys. Just to elaborate, when you actually go to barter and they give you a set price, they usually give you a price that is higher than actually what it is, just to make a profit. So what you have to do, you have to barter. So where you will start, if they say they'll give you 10 CDs for it, you split it in half. So you say, no, I'll give you 5 CDs. And if they say, okay, no, just 10, you can say, okay, I'll give you 6. And then you just keep going up, but always split it in half, and then you guys can just barter from there.
I would like to know if you all became confused and tried that once you returned to America. Thank you very much. I have just a few additional questions coming from the letters that you sent that I would like to hear additional response to. Both of you indicated that your purpose for going over, your major purpose, was to learn more about student leadership, because you were looking for things that you could bring back to your own school, Bennett College, that will further enhance the leadership development among students. I would like to hear from both of you on that subject, please.
Our main purpose was to interact with the student leaders at the different universities there, and just interacting with the leaders. We learned that after their leaders are elected, they go through a period of training of either 2 weeks or 1 week. So it don't matter what kind of leader you are. You be the president, the secretary, the hall princess, or just the hall queens. No matter what kind of leader you are, you go through training after that. And I think that's something that definitely needs to be incorporated here at Bennett College, because not because you were elected a position means that you can be or know how to be an effective leader. We all need to go through training to introduce us to that leadership position. So I think that's something that can actually be done here.
Thank you. Actually, with what I have learned, actually from my perspective, is the leadership component, and to build confidence, and also to be bold, and also having to be able to just to come out and stand out, and say, for example, such as you all, and be able to, because we are pretty much the forefront, or the ones who's going to be able to tell everyone about Ghana. So if anybody does want to go or want to study abroad, you all can come to us and be able to ask any questions, the do's and don'ts, and just familiarize yourself with the actual country. So it's good to know the background before you actually go. So I think that is definitely something that needs to be also implemented, and also just knowing the cultural diversity, or knowing pretty much what you're getting into before you arrive.
Thank you. And my last question is, both of you indicated that you would like to return to Ghana. And speaking of the inconveniences that you experienced, and also speaking of some of the things that were different for you in Ghana, why do you want to return, and what would you do differently upon your return? And I'm going to begin with Ms. Power, because Ms. Power, you went so far as to say you would like to be the first student to begin in the the student exchange program next spring. Did you comment?
I actually really would like to go back to the University of Ghana. They're going to do a semester there because I fell in love with that university. The students there were the ones we interacted with and still interact with today. They were the ones we were closely knit to. My purpose for wanting to go back there is to learn more about the Ghanaian culture. Ghana was colonized by the British, and so was Jamaica. So when I went there, I saw a lot of similarities, and I felt at home. So I would just like to go back to experience that. But one of the things that I would really like to bring back there is women in leadership roles. There, as I stated in the video presentation, women aren't seen as powerful as men. Say for instance how women filled all the leadership positions here at Bennett College. Women wouldn't run for vice presidential positions there. They wouldn't run for presidential positions. They probably wouldn't run for a treasurer. They would go to leadership roles that is seen as more women-prone, such as a secretarial role. So when I do go back there, if I do go back there, I think my main mission will be to change that atmosphere, to allow the women there to know that you guys are leaders. You guys can be as effective as men can, not because that's the way society operates, meaning you guys can be so limited in what you guys can do. It's so much more you can do. You just have to step out. But I think what is really challenging about that is that even your female counterpart there will discourage you. If you say, okay, if it was me and Maisha, if we were there and I said, okay, Maisha, I'm going to run for this presidential position, she'll probably say, no, don't do that. That's a man's role. I think that's something that I will really go there and target and try to make a difference and change that atmosphere, that kind of way of thinking.
I would definitely go back to Ghana. My passion and just seeing the people, my heart goes out. Especially going to the outskirts and seeing just the poverty and seeing just what they do not have or the lack of resources, and that really touched me, especially since I am a social work major and I really want to go back and affect the country in so many ways, and I want to be able to actually bring some things over to affect the economy. So it gave me some different ideas as we were traveling through, going through different cities. So it really touched me. So thank you.
I would like to thank Ms. Strength and Ms. Power for appearing on our show today. You have really helped out in many ways. There is a third guest, and I was informed that his plane was being delayed, and his name was Casa, and Casa was a tour guide in Ghana, and so I am not sure whether or not his plane has arrived yet. Casa? Well, evidently he's not here. At this time, we would like to open for questions. If you have questions for either of these young ladies, would you please come? We have 5 minutes.
My question is to you. As a biology major, when you finish your education, what would you do to inspire the women to become biologists, or what would you bring to their country to encourage them to go out in different areas of education where women are not normally at?
I think I would actually bring what I know. So from receiving the education here at Bennett College and also getting my degree, I would definitely, I'm actually thinking about going back to Ghana to impact the women there, and not only the women, but also the men there. But also I would just have to share my experience and from earlier, and so they can bring it back to the society. So I just think showing them who I am, telling my story, and letting them know that as a female, as a woman, I did it, and that you can do it also, I think that will be one of my main goals.
I just want to ask one question. When the power went out, was it because of maybe the circuits or the wiring not being correct, or was it because the government has something in their program when they turn it off at a certain time? It's like when some countries they do it.
Actually, thank you, Justine. Dealing with electricity, it doesn't have anything to do with the government or anything. It's just their currency, or it doesn't work like, it's not like our system. It's totally different. So that's what I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. And this ends the Abada Talk Show. Very briefly, I would like to say you have just experienced a taste of the Honors Program and a global experience. You can see the credits in the back of the program, and there are even more people who helped us in many ways. I would like to say, however, when I first was asked to be the director of the Honors Program, I was reporting at that time directly to Dr. Esther Terry, who served as the provost of the college. And she, in no uncertain terms, made it clear to me that the Honors Program had to be further developed, and that she wanted us to stress leadership. And above all, she said, Dr. Ward, I want this Honors Program to become more visible. And after a year, she was still saying that. I haven't taken time to ask her what she's saying today, but I'm sure we will find out. But again, we thank her and thank everyone who had a part in helping make this visible. And further visible under the direction of Dr. Joyce Blackwell, who traveled with us. I would just like to say that there are many new phases of the Honors Program being planned for the coming semester. I would just like for the Honors Program Advisory Council to please stand. Meetings, but the council consists, in each division, there are faculty members who have accepted the invitation to work on bringing a new face to the Honors Program. And we have been meeting very often, working
very hard, because we want to make the program more competitive. And in order to make it more competitive, we have to look at each and every phase of the program. So we are doing research, we're researching our school, we're researching records, and we're looking at many other colleges and universities. So please look forward to something very new in the fall. In addition to that, we want to be further distinguished by our Honors Program attire. And you should be
information about this very soon, in that we do want to have our Honors Program blazers and our Honors Program pants and skirts. I think we should have thought. There is much more, okay? And we encourage everyone to do your very best. And in talking with students who are now in the Honors Program, you will find that many of them did not ever think that they would earn the right, grade-point-wise, to become a part, but they did. There is a story behind what exists. And I would like, right now, before turning the mic over to Dr. Blackwell, I would like to recognize these new inductees of Alpha Lambda Delta who were inducted last night. If you please stand.
very much, Dr. Ward. It has truly been a pleasure and an honor to work with the honors program this year. And as she shared with you, there will be a number of major changes that will be taking place next year. And I certainly want to thank the honors program advisory council who has been meeting with her to look at things like the curriculum, to see ways in which we can strengthen that curriculum in every unit at this point. We don't want to just say that a course is an honors course and place an H designation on it without really seriously looking at the content to make sure that the content is one of rigor and one that will certainly challenge many of our students who are taking these courses. And also, we want to put into place policies and procedures that relate to how one certainly becomes a member of the Honors College. We have that in place, but more importantly, also what makes an honors course, what's the process for getting a course approved, so forth and so on, so that we won't have persons just deciding that we want to offer honors course and then it's offered. And we will also look at the criteria for faculty who are going to actually teach in the honors program. These are the kinds of things that will strengthen the program based on certainly the research and the data that's out there. So certainly I want to thank you all for this, and at this point you'll hear more faculty who are here about the really grant opportunities. We have one with the United States Agency for International Development that I will be sharing with you all very, very soon as we connect with the University of Ghana. And also, I would like to have certainly the directors at the table and probably some department chairs, along with, again, some of the members of the senior team, when we begin to talk to officials at the various universities about the study abroad and faculty exchange opportunities. So again, I am now going to turn this over to our president, who will bring closing remarks. Dr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. I just take a few minutes to say that I'm very happy with this. I believe that every young woman, but particularly every young woman at Bennett College will walk in the door saying, there is something special in me, something special about me, and there's something special that I need to work to develop. One does not need to end up at the same place where one started. That's anti-education. The whole purpose of education is to take you from where you are to wherever you want to be. And I want every young sister at Bennett College to want to be something that's different than where you were. My mother told me when I came to Bennett, she said, I want you to come back home different. If you only sing the songs that you sang before I sent you there. If you only eat the food that you ate before I sent you there. If you only know just the things that you know before I sent you there, give me my money back. Don't go. Don't go. The whole business of education is to get someplace different. And that will take care, I believe, of your leadership. But you have to use this space between here where you enter and there where you leave is the space of opportunity. Be leaders. Find the leadership in you and find that by working to know the difference between what happens in one culture and another. Don't forget and give up where you came from. Just add on to it. That's what you do. You add on to it. So you eat spaghetti when you came here. That's all you do. Now you eat spaghetti and fish. Now you eat spaghetti, fish, and tomatoes. Now you understand what I'm saying here. That the business of education is the business of extending and expanding one's horizons. And then one other thing I want to say to you that strikes me every time, and this is because I'm African American heritage, I'm so glad you went to Ghana. I'm so glad you got to experience a slave castle. Now, here's the beginning for all of my little sisters at the language, the irony of language. And when I grew up, every time I heard the word castle, I thought of what? What do you think of? Who lives in the castle? The prince and the princess for us. That's our cultural understanding of castle. It's a place of grandeur. It's a place where people have the best of everything. You know what slave castles are on the continent, in the motherland? They are the places that were built to hold slaves until it was time for the ships. They're right on the Atlantic. You walk in and you're thinking, I'm going to a slave castle. When you go there, and I want all of you to go, remember me as you do that. Here's where you hit the first time the difference in language and culture. Because the slave castle there is the place that you brought the slaves from inland to the edge of the water because they were going to come to America and to other places by way of the ship. So you came to the castle, not to find the prince and the princess. You came to find someone who would put you in the basement. Well, these young ladies will tell you what Elmina. You went to Elmina, right? Was it Elmina? You went to Elmina. These young ladies will tell you what Elmina Castle was. And every time I think of that, I think of this. And this is what I say to the young women. Doctors Ward and Blackwell today. Thank you for your trip. Thank you for choosing Eleanor. Imagine, if we could imagine the spirits of the ancestors, the people who left Ghana and left on those ships coming through to their land as slaves. Don't you think they would have been proud of the airplane that brought these two young women back as slaves? You all to remember that we belong to a long line of people who move forward and learn more, and as we learn more, we should do more. Take care of your opportunity, and God, and I love all.
Let us bow for benediction. Dear God, we thank you for this opportunity to live vicariously through the experiences of these travelers. Now, Lord, we ask that you would dismiss us in peace and confidence, prepared to complete the semester well. This is our prayer of glory and honor to you in